The Grind, a Minnesota sports podcast.
JJ McCarthy, and some more JJ McCarthy. That's what Minnesota Vikings fans want to talk about, and that's what podcast hosts like myself want to talk about. This podcast is called The Grind because it's been a grind being a Minnesota sports fan since 1991 when I was born. I'm trying to break the curse and trying to find the formula that will break the curse. Good things come in three. And I'm having my third baby in October. So maybe this will break the curse of the Minnesota Vikings. Curse of not winning a Super Bowl. That's it. We found it. Because I was the third baby. Here's the strategy. Here's the theory. The Timspiracy theory. Okay. Let me get some music just to add a little something. When I was born on September 13th in 1991, the Twins won the World Series a month later. But since then, a Minnesota sports team has not won a title. So what's the curse? I thought once I had offspring, the curse would be broken. Nope. We have a baby girl in June of 2022. Curse still stands. I thought when I had a son, my offspring, my son, me, a boy having a son, a man having a son, that would break the curse. No. Had a son January 31st of 2024. Curse still alive. I was one of three to be born. The youngest son of our family. The third born son. I'm having my third in October. My wife and I are due. She's due. I dued her. She's due. I dued her so that she's due. Yep. So, did we finally break the Minnesota sports curse? This is my conspiracy theory. Because I was the third child born from my parents. I needed to have 3 kids. So, October, that baby will be born. The Vikings Super Bowl, February. This could be the year. Yes, we're going to break the curse until we are proven otherwise. The curse revolves around me and my life. And I think I got it figured out. But we're talking about McCarthy today because the Vikings had night practice last evening. And McCarthy displayed some sneaky good traits that we all knew he had, but he put them on display even more for night practice. And we're going to talk about that. Plus, I'm going to analyze McCarthy and the amount of pressure that he's faced in training camp. And we're going to really analyze it and examine what it means. But first, I need to tell you about 5 Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Because they transformed our bathroom in 48 hours. And the entire thing. From new floors, new shower head, new shower surround, new bathtub. They got rid of a step going into a shower that was taking up so much space. We got a double countertop sink thingy-mabobber. We got a new vanity and mirror. All of this was done in 48 hours by 5 Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. They will transform your entire bathroom in 48 hours. And maybe you only have a small project that needs to get done. They'll get that done in one day. Don't wait on a bathroom project to get done in 8 weeks when it can be done in 48 hours by 5 Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. They have free consultations and they have affordable payment plans. 5 Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis is the best route for all your bathroom needs. 5 Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Okay, McCarthy. night practice, offensive line. A lot of them are out. Christian Darrisaw wasn't participating. Ryan Kelly wasn't participating. Justin Jefferson still sitting on the hamstring sidelines, nursing his injury. So a lot of players were out, which allowed McCarthy to display some skills, which we all knew he had. We knew he wasn't the slowest quarterback in the league. But take a look at this video. The video was shot by Jason Harmon, Vikings content creator. You can follow him on Twitter at Jason777 with a couple of underscores. You'll find him. Type in Jason Harmon. And McCarthy used his legs to score a touchdown in 11-on-11 drills. Now, you do have to be careful because they can't touch him or tackle him like they can during a regular season game. But McCarthy does display a certain set of skills that is important for quarterbacks to have. And McCarthy has legs that he can utilize to get first downs. And something we saw Sam Darnold do better and better as the year went on was utilize his legs to get a first down. There is nothing more backbreaking to a defense than when a quarterback surveys his options and can't find anything, and then has an ability on 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11 to utilize his legs, get past the defensive ends, and scramble for a first down to keep a drive alive. And McCarthy has that ability and will display that ability for the Vikings throughout this season. It is a trait of McCarthy that cannot be overlooked because he's white. And here's the truth. When you are a white quarterback in the NFL, you are not fast, you are not quick. You are deceptively fast. It is all about being deceptively quick. When you are a white quarterback like JJ McCarthy, your legs are deceptively fast. Every time you turn on the announcer, how often do they say that a black quarterback is deceptively fast? It points straight towards the stereotypes. Black quarterbacks are fast and white quarterbacks are slow. Who's the fastest white quarterback that has ever played in the NFL? My mind goes to like a Steve Young. Who's the fastest white quarterback? I'm going to Google it. Who's the fastest white quarterback to play in the NFL? Because white quarterbacks are always thought to be deceptively fast. The fastest white quarterback in the NFL in terms of 40-yard dash times is Jake Locker. Well, not a household name, Locker's 4.53 second 40-yard dash time at the 2011 NFL Combine was the fastest among white quarterbacks at the time. Other notables, Kyle Bowler, Baltimore Ravens. Shout out to you. J.P. Lossman and Jeff Garcia. Point stands. White quarterbacks are not fast. And when they do display their quickness and hurry for a first down, they are deceptively fast. And McCarthy this season will show off his deceptively fast quickness when he utilizes his legs to pick up first downs. And that is a very valuable trait to have as a starting quarterback. I remember watching Vikings games, and for some reason, the quarterback that stands out to me is Jay Cutler with the Bears. The Vikings would play the Bears and Brandon Marshall perfectly defensively. It'd be like a 3rd and 11. And Jay Cutler somehow would utilize his deceptively fast, quick legs to hurry for a first down. And that is the most back-breaking play. You cover them perfectly. Your defensive line, maybe one guy gets out of contain, and it allows the quarterback to step up and scramble for a first down. It just kills a defense. And that is a skill, a sneaky good trait that McCarthy has and should and will utilize for the Vikings this season. Okay, Kevin O'Connell was asked a question by Judge Zolgad of Score North, Purple Daily. Great podcast. And this is what he said.
What's the plan for JJ on Saturday, Kevin?
Yeah, we've got that plan in place. I've not talked to him about it. We're so day-to-day right now. So I'll update him on that plan first and then let you guys know. But, yeah, I do plan on playing JJ Saturday, which I think we've kind of talked about before.
Is that a possibility that he would play in the second or third game, or would it probably be just one game and then he won't play again?
Yeah, I think you'd love to play him, as much as possible. But I think with those 2 days of joint practice, the guys that, the type of repetition that the other guys on the offense will get from a physicality and workload standpoint, we'll more than likely use those 2 days as our real days, obviously subject to change based upon how those practices go, how we feel coming out of those. If we need to get a little more work, we will. And then we'll assess that final preseason game when it comes.
The Vikings announced that JJ McCarthy will participate in preseason game number 1, which I very much disagree with. And I've made it vocal before, but I'm going to make it vocal again. If McCarthy goes down with a significant injury and has to miss a specific amount of time in the regular season, well, the Vikings will probably trade for Kirk Cousins. And maybe it won't be the end-all, be-all. But if that happens and McCarthy goes down, that is a fireable offense. McCarthy missed the entire last season because of a knee injury that he realized happened the very next day. He didn't come out of that game against the Raiders because he was injured. He came out of the game because it was his time to step out of the game. And he missed his entire season because of an injury in a preseason game. A meaningless preseason game against a vanilla defense. I hear so many people telling me, commenting on my Facebook reels, saying, oh, he needs the reps, he needs the reps. They have joint practices the following week against the Patriots. How many more reps do you need? And does a 1 series rep against the Houston Texans in a preseason game, is that really going to get McCarthy ready to play week 1 Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears? How valuable is a series or maximum 2 against the Houston Texans? Oh, got to get his body ready to play NFL football games against a vanilla defense that isn't going to throw anything significant at you? How is that going to get McCarthy ready? I completely disagree with this decision. Last year, the Vikings did play Sam Darnold for a series. He went 4 for 8. Because Sam Darnold played 1 series against the Las Vegas Raiders in preseason game number 1, did that really set up Darnold to throw 35 touchdowns and 12 interceptions for the year? Hell no. So this idea that the Vikings are playing McCarthy to prepare him for the regular season and to get him as many reps as possible because it's going to set him up for success, I think is ridiculous. The real reason why the Vikings are playing McCarthy is because they are not 100% confident in the quarterback that he will be in week 1. When O'Connell was the head coach, which he still is, the answer should be, my response should be, when Kirk Cousins was the quarterback for the Vikings, he didn't play any preseason games when Kevin O'Connell was the head coach. Because the Vikings knew and had 100% confidence in Kirk Cousins. Kevin O'Connell the other day, the sky is not falling when talking about JJ McCarthy in practice, which tells me that that is a major reason to have concern. The sky is not falling. You only say that when there is something that is going wrong. When someone asks you a question about how life is going, and you respond and say, well, the sky is not falling. The sky ain't falling, but something is going wrong. You say that. You say the sky is not falling so that it doesn't feel as bad as it might seem, which is not a good thing. But when you say that, you are indicating that something in your life, in your quarterback room, is not going well. So there should be concern for McCarthy. And I do get the idea of getting him reps in the preseason. Got to get him reps. He missed an entire year. Reps. The Vikings have joint practices with the Patriots. If McCarthy gets injured against the Houston Texans because he takes an awkward, and he can get injured anytime. Yes, he can get injured anytime. But I am not going to put him out to get injured, to have the risk of injury in a meaningless preseason game. Yeah, he could get injured in week 1 against the Bears. At least that game means something for the future of the Vikings. If he gets hurt against the Houston Texans, everyone's going to look back on that game and say, why was he out there? It's a meaningless game. So I don't get it. I don't understand the decision. I completely disagree. If you couldn't tell already. We got one more JJ McCarthy subject at tackle. But first, I need to tell you about Hochland Farms beef because they have 100% rotationally grazed grass-fed beef. And that's the good stuff, healthy stuff. No preservatives, no junk, cheaper than stores too. Steaks, chuck roast, ribs, hamburger. Hochland Farms has it all. And it's 100% grass-fed, rotationally grazed. You go to a store to buy a steak, it's like $9, $10 a pound. Hochland Farms beef is like $4.30 a pound. Contact Jared at 952-491-1541. 952-491-1541. Tell Jared you heard about it from Tim, and he'll give you a little discount on your first order. 952-491-1541. Hochland Farms beef. Get great beef in your freezers today. All right, one more topic. And this is the one that takes the most examination and analyzation and analyzing and analyzation with. And analyzation. Examination and analyzation. Something like McCarthy and the practices. The offensive line has been getting lit up by the defensive line. Javon Hargrave, Jonathan Allen, Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, Harrison Phillips, Levi Rodriguez. All these guys are just blowing up the offensive line. And my first reaction is, well, it's a good thing because McCarthy can practice and know how to move and get out of these situations and be prepared for the regular season when there's chaos that is not as controlled. It's an uncontrolled setting in the regular season. And that is true. Like, it's good that McCarthy is not having the easiest of camps, because then he can translate these experiences to the regular season. However, there's got to be a delicate balance. He can't be getting blitzed or demolished on every day. And it seems like he is every single day, facing these pressures, facing this heat by the defensive line. Because then what's going to happen is that McCarthy will translate these experiences to the regular season. And what could happen is McCarthy could start seeing ghosts in the regular season because that's all he faced in training camp. It's good that he's getting these experiences, but these experiences cannot be overwhelming, or he is going to see things that are not there in the regular season. All we've seen for the last week is the Vikings defensive line dominating the Vikings offensive line. And sure, he can translate those experiences to the regular season. But we also want McCarthy to get used to a clean pocket, and we don't want him scrambling when it's unnecessary. And because he has had to do that so much through practices, my fear is that McCarthy might start to see things that are not there in the regular season because that's what he got accustomed to in practice. And what is the biggest knock a quarterback can face or hear? What's one of the bigger criticisms? He's seeing ghosts. Sam Darnold in 2019 admitted to seeing ghosts on the field, and he was criticized endlessly for that. Even if you do see ghosts, you don't admit to seeing ghosts, because then that means the defense is completely in your head and you are lost back there. Caleb Williams last year, he didn't say it, but many people that examined him did. Caleb Williams is seeing ghosts. My fear is that because McCarthy has seen so much pressure in practice from the Vikings defensive line, is that he will see ghosts during the regular season because that's all he's ever known is pressure in his face. And when there's a clean pocket, maybe there will be some discomfort because he's almost waiting for a player to come, because that's all he faced and experienced in training camp. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you get so used to something, so used to dealing with something, you're almost anticipating that it's going to happen. And because McCarthy is getting so accustomed to pressure in his face in training camp, my fear is that he's going to be waiting and anticipating that same pressure in the regular season. So, yes, it's good that McCarthy is facing pressure so he can experience that and translate that into the NFL season. But too much of that is a bad thing. And so far, we've seen a lot of it. A lot of it. So, those are my McCarthy rants. Hopefully my curse, my Timspiracy theory is accurate. And the Minnesota sports curse will be broken in February. All right. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis for your bathroom needs. And Hoagland Farms Beef, 952-491-1541. 100% rotationally grazed grass-fed beef. Everyone, hope you have a great day.